clicked on the video, so I gotta tell you about it. Final Destination, created by Jeffrey Reddick and directed by all of these lovely people. At least I think they're lovely. Don't quote me on that. If you clicked on this video, there's a 50-50 chance you already know what horror franchise I'm talking about. There are 6 movies out right now, with the newest being Bloodlines, that just released this month, actually. Let me know in the comments if you liked it or not, without spoiling it, please. Have you subscribed? Thanks for getting me to 6.5K. I couldn't even upload my last video without hitting another milestone. And I think that's quite amazing. I really, truly love you all. I have a Discord. You can join it for sneak peeks, updates. Sometimes me and my friends pop in a VC and you can get to talk to us. The film revolves around the characters trying to cheat death, but it always finds a way to reclaim them. But what makes this series so intriguing is the constant struggles that the characters face, trying to outsmart death itself. This raises a question though. Is death truly unavoidable? Or could the characters have taken different steps to at least prolong their death? Let's find out. So our first story, we have Miss Lewton. It's all replaying in my head right now, and it's just, yeah, no, it's stupid. So our first death we're going over is the first movie that was released in the 2000s. It starts us off with a group of kids going on a school field trip. Our main character, Alex, has a terrible premonition about the plane crashing. Like, I mean, it's absolutely disgusting, graphic, and I can't show it. So after his premonition, due to his panic state, he was escorted off the plane, and a small group of students and 2 teachers went out to go check on him. Eventually, one of the teachers went back on board, leaving a group of kids and now only 1 teacher left. At this point, they don't know, but this group of people have cheated death because they witnessed Flight 180 blow up in their face. I'll say that the flight itself probably wasn't as avoidable as Miss Lewton's death itself because it's a plane crash. I mean, I don't know. I think if I heard somebody screaming about the plane crashing, I'd also get off. That's just me though. For context, Alex manages to figure out Death's design and the order in which everybody's going to die. So at this point in the story, Death's target is now Miss Lewton, the teacher that escaped with them. Alex has been trying to save everybody, so as he does, he goes to Miss Lewton's house and creeps on her. Now Miss Lewton is on the phone with her therapist at this point, talking about how traumatized she was from the plane crash and all of her students dying. I would be too. She also mentioned to him earlier in the movie that he gives her the creeps. So when Miss Lewton sees him in her yard, she calls the detectives to take him away. He gets in the car with them and they go down to the station, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I want to bring up one thing real quick. Before anybody dies in these movies, there's either water, electricity, or a gust of wind. Like they said, death has a pattern. Let it be windy in my house with the windows closed. No. She sees some sort of weird reflection in her tea kettle. Nigga, I would've, oh my god. She probably chopped it up to the trauma that she endured. I will say this, stupid avoidable thing number 1. She puts her towels over the knives. What are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? You're putting, oh my god. And then not even that. It's not like the knives are pushed back at the back of the counter. They're on the edge. They're on the edge. How stupid can you be? I mean, I don't know if you didn't take a home ec class. Did you not have a mom? As she's heating her tea kettle up, right? The gust of wind somehow also puts out the gas stove. Don't even relight that bitch. Stupid thing number 3. She says, the tea, you know, the tea, cool, the tea. Grabs a bottle of liquor from the freezer. What? I mean, I can't even say what you've been going through because your whole class just died. But while she's pouring her alcohol, the cup cracks so far. Plumber crack. Like, that's, oh my god, like, that's a big crack in your face, and not in the good way. She starts walking around with the big cracked cup, and it's dripping everywhere. I don't know how you can't hear it, how you can't see it. You know, it's in front of you. You're holding the cup, and it's just like it's splashing on your hardwood floor, and you don't notice any of it. You don't notice any of it? Okay, cool. Then while she's setting up her PC, that big crack, it leaks all over her PC. How can you not see that? What did I say though? Liquid and electricity. Liquid and electricity. You see what's gonna happen, right? You see how this was avoidable, right? You see? Her whole PC starts smoking. You know what she does? I can't take this movie seriously. You know what happens to her? That's expected. What did you think was gonna happen? So now she's slipping on her own blood, trying to go away from the PC that's just now on fire. But back to Alex. We cut back to Alex coming home from the detective's office, and he sees a pile of leaves on fire. Now we know at this point in the story, if Alex sees anything on fire or like, if Alex sees anything, run for the hills. Actually, don't run for the hills. You might die to a Sasquatch. We cut back to Miss Lewton, and now a spark from her PC that has been smoking and combusting now sets the trail of alcohol that she left on fire because she was too dumb to hear anything or notice it. It took me 6 days to watch all of the movies because of how much I needed time to recover from how stupid it was. Don't get me wrong, I love these movies. They're supposed to be stupid and dramatic. It's a movie, but I'm just here to give the critical thinking. I didn't mention, Alex manages to go back to her house because somehow he knew. She gets to her kitchen. The dang alcohol bottle explodes and she falls over from that. Apparently, how? She's trying to reach for her towel that she put on the knives. Can you guess what happened? Yeah, that wasn't too surprising, right? But listen, she's still breathing. So, Alex gets in there, he sees what's going on, and, he can save her. No! Sad case. This next entry comes from our second movie that was made in 2003, the year my lovely sister was born. The second film features the same concept as the first one. Our main character gets a horrible premonition, this time about a car crash. I don't care if you haven't seen Final Destination, you know what car crash I'm talking about. You ever seen this type of truck? They scare me to this day. The death we're focused on today, ironically, is our lottery winner of the movie. But it's not even your homie sliming you for the lottery money, it's the universe. For context, at this point, our main character, Kimberly, is talking to her dad. She's been feeling bad for the others, and the horrible feeling that she got on that day has never left. After that scene, we cut to Evan Lewis, the person we're talking about, arriving home with his newly bought objects. This hallway is dirty as hell. He could have died by tripping on one of them toys. He gets settled at home, opening his windows. Why is there spaghetti on... Oh, okay. Without cleaning the pan and having a handle on the outside, he proceeds to make his lunch. He spills oil all over the pan. Liquid. A gust of wind hits him. A gust of wind hits him so hard that a magnet falls down from off of his refrigerator into his noodles. He turns around and grabs the cup of microplastic ramen and throws it in the microwave. While those lovely microplastics are cooking, he proceeds to open up his new watch to try on. Also, he got a new ring. I think it's pretty ugly. But in doing so, the microwave begins to explode. And he gets startled and the ring drops down the drain. A lot of us that have brains can understand why this next part is avoidable. Would be avoidable, could be avoidable, should be avoidable, should have been avoidable. At least for small-handed people. Other folks, I'm not too sure. But realistically, the average person can fit their hand in and out of an American drain very easily. Especially in the kitchen. That's meant for you're supposed to be able to grab stuff in there. He didn't even check on the microwave before he decided to go for the ring. Now, on further inspection, anybody could have avoided this. You could have just, checked on your microwave before you checked the drain. I don't know. So, he puts his hand down the drain and now it's stuck. But, now the food is burning. Isn't that nice? It's not really that nice, but in his circumstance, he's just a dummy. So the pan proceeds to set on fire, and he decides to start swinging a towel at it. It flips the pan over, and now his whole house is engulfed in flames, while his microwave is still exploding. He manages to get his hand out in the nick of time. He grabs his fire extinguisher that's been gooning for a couple days because it just keeps casting dry spells. So, he decides to escape through the window, but they manage to shut and lock on him. I'm not too sure how this one happened. I'll just blame it on the movie, honestly. I'll blame it on the movie. The only sensible thing he does right now is break his window with a chair. He makes sure all the glass is out. Great, cool. He manages to get out through the fire escape and climbs down the stairs. Great. But now he's at the ladder and the ladder is stuck. So he's pulling at the ladder. Cool. Dangerous, but cool. He manages to get it down and he's fine. Thank God. Fuck! Well, at least he just fell. Nothing bad can really happen to him.
Jesus Christ!
His own noodles finished him off. And I think my dog just farted. Our next story follows the story of Final Destination 3. You could argue that this is the Final Destination. When you think of the title alone, you probably think of this roller coaster, or maybe this statue, or maybe this tanning bed. This movie had me terrified of roller coasters for a long time. My mother should never have let me watch these movies at such a young age. Final Destination 3 came out in 2006. Anyways, it's the same deal. Our main character has a premonition about the roller coaster crashing horribly. It's traumatized a lot of people in my generation. But let's get straight into this because there's no context needed really. So, our girls Ashley and Ashlyn go tanning on a nice rainy day. They do this often because they get the okay from the manager or store owner to set up their own tanning beds. This could have been avoidable if you were a better owner and handled your phone calls better. Mentioning phone calls, our owner of the store gets a phone call and he has to step outside.
Hello, this is Kitty.
I'm over here stroking my d.
On the way out, he mentions to the girls no more drinks, so one of our girls decides to mockingly throw them away in front of him. She didn't throw both of them away. She had one. There was only like 2 sips in it. I don't know why she brought it in with her. That's just plain disrespect to the owner of the store. He's simply just asking you a simple favor. Also, to keep the back door open so our owner can get back in, he sticks a bottle of lotion under the door. A bottle of lotion. Couldn't have gotten like a rag or maybe a towel. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of towels. It's a tanning salon. One of the girls mentions that they don't want to get creeped on, so they put a be back in 30 minutes sign on the door and proceeds to lock the front door. Why you would ever think or be comfortable enough to lock the front door of an establishment, I don't know. At least one that you don't work at. I understand if you work there. Tube of lotion obviously starts spilling out as these girls are getting their tanning beds ready, which means that these girls are about to be locked in, and not in the good way. The girls settle into their rooms and one of our ladies puts their drink down. They mention how it's cold and proceed to turn the temperature up. The only reason the temperature was down is because if it was up a certain height, the generator for the tanning beds would overheat. They look for some CDs on the shelf. One of the girls mentioning that she forgot her iPod. If you haven't touched or don't know what an iPod is, please unsubscribe. Oh, no, don't. While they're picking out music from the shelves, the hinges start to break. The door that the owner was holding open with a bottle of lotion finally closes. Now these girls are officially locked in. While they're in the tanning beds, the music they chose to play was ironically Roller Coaster of Love by Ohio Players, giving us a callback to the first death scene in our movie. Turns out, turning the temperature up made the drink end up melting. Can you guys guess what happened next? Yeah, the drink ended up dripping onto the generator for the tanning beds. Liquid and electricity. So the tanning beds are increasingly getting hotter. The girls start to notice. Do you know what happens next? We've talked about the electricity and the liquid. Do you know what comes next? A gust of wind! It blows down a nearby coat rack, officially knocking down the shelf that was above one of the tanning beds. Somehow, this shelf managed to sit in between these 2 tanning beds, and they attempt to start opening the tanning beds with the obstruction in the middle of them, and obviously they're burning their hands because it's a tanning bed. It's gonna be hot. They eventually try to escape from the top where the fans are, but unfortunately it is blocking the way. It ends up getting so hot that the lights burst. So now there's glass. The other girl fell into it, so now she's just on fire. So these girls are getting cooked alive. Our owner finally gets off the phone and hears the girls screaming. He runs around because the back door is now locked and the front door is locked too. So they died.
Sucks, bitch.
They died by being ignorant and not reading anything around them, because I swear it... So, here are some honorable mentions. With the 4th movie coming out in 2009, the initial incident was a race car track accident. In the main character's premonition, there was a lady that got struck by a tire right in the face. Directly right in the face. But it's a premonition, so it didn't really happen, I guess. So it flashed back and she was alive. In our now reality, she ended up getting out with the group of people that survived in this movie. Tell me why a tire still hit her in the head. I will say that's probably the only death that doesn't have any water or wind or electricity. I shouldn't be laughing about this. Another honorable mention from the 4th movie. There's this really racist guy, right? At the ceremony for this tragedy, the racist guy ends up threatening the security guard from the incident.
Killed my wife.
Because he wouldn't let him back in to save his wife. Unfortunate. I get it. But why are you being racist?
I'm sorry for your loss. Well, nobody lives forever, Nick.
Later in the movie, goes to the security guard's house in the middle of the night with his tow truck, a big crucifix, lighter fluid, and obviously a lighter or matches. I never really figured out which one he had. So like, he's drunk driving, drive safe. He spills his drink on himself, right? And while gathering his very questionable items, he accidentally somehow let his tow truck hook down. A gust of wind blows, making the items in his truck fall, starting it. Then it proceeds to drift down the street. The whole time this is happening, he's setting up his crucifix, drunk as hell. But as he goes up to the truck, the locks on the door... Don't know how. I never figured out how. They just do. Death definitely has some control on locks. That's another aspect. Locks, you know, instead of liquid liquid, electricity, wind, and locks. As the truck's rolling down the road, the lighter fluid falls, and it's like trailing behind the truck. While he's trying to stop the truck, the hook gets caught on his leg, dragging this racist piece of shit to death. The friction from the chains and the lighter fluid ended up sparking it on fire, and he died! My last honorable mention I want to bring up, this beautiful lady, I forgot which movie she's from. She's a trooper, bro. She survived a LASIK eye injury only to pass away from falling out a window. You survived all of that just to fall out a window. Let's just put that in perspective. Before we get into this last one, if you've enjoyed the video so far, please feel free to give it a like and please subscribe. It's free and it helps out a lot. Also leave your recommendations of other movies I should talk about. Anyways, for our last and final story, I think Final Destination 5 has to be another one of my favorite ones, coming out in 2011. This was the most recent one that came out before Bloodlines. Of course, let's explain some context. Our big incident at the time was a bridge collapse. My biggest fear. Our main character Sam has a premonition that saves a few people. But the one we're focused on today is Sam's friend's girlfriend, Candice Hooper. Please don't make any Candice jokes in my comments. She has a gym championship coming up. You know, this is her last practice before the big championship. She's pretty anxious, saying that she has a bad feeling. More people should listen to that. Her boyfriend pumps her up to go out, and she does. She later talks to her coach about how it's hot in there. Then they cut to a shot of an electrician fixing the thermostat. And then to a shot of the ceiling fan beginning to turn on and shake. A separate fan that's being plugged in has an exposed wire. Why nobody got any electrical tape, I don't know. You're all gymnasts, I'm pretty sure you can afford some electrical tape. While putting chalk on her hands, her lucky wristband breaks. So then, the AC unit starts leaking water onto the exposed wire. So, a nail ends up falling out of one of the ceiling fans onto the beam, with the pointy part up. It fell right in your face. How did you not see it? Genuinely, how did you not see it? It's in your line of sight. I know that when you're on the beam, you assume you're not supposed to. Do you have to look forward, or are you looking at the beam? Please inform me. She manages to miss the nail. Great, you know, that's amazing. She gets off the beam and still doesn't see the nail. So her next part is bars. While transitioning, another girl gets on the beam and she cleans up the puddle of water. So now another girl is in danger. Yeah. Candice proceeds with her bar routine. With the nail still very much present on the beam, the girl unfortunately stabs herself in the foot and falls off of the beam, crashing into the hand chalk, making a big cloud blow all in Candice's face. Pause. But then this happens. I can handle body horror, but it's just something about that scene that just has always stuck with me. And now let's wrap it up. While Final Destination makes for some wild and gruesome entertainment, let's be real. Most of these deaths are way too over the top. And that's the point. It's a movie, like I said. What do you think? Could they happen in real life? Or is it just some horror movie exaggeration like I said? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more deep dives. I have a Discord, and all of my socials are down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.